Now, here's the finishing phase of the block. So we do the whole part, whole method. I work all those guys together. Then I break it down, and now we're just working as the inside covered player. All right, so I'm going to give them a feet. I'm going to give them a drive, and at the very end, you're going to see them try to ricochet themselves off. Watch 61 here. All right, he's trying to ricochet himself off the down guy, and he's trying to simulate that the backer is now coming to him, and he's got to come off the double and attack the backer. All right, so we call this the ricochet drill. Right, it also gets them to run their backside knee, which I'm a huge believer of in the run game, both zone game and the gap game. Okay, now the next drill that I do all the time with these guys is what I call the tempo fits. All right, so we're going to work a double team here. Let's say the right guard, right tackle are working a backside B, or they're working a deuce block if they're on the front side. All right, so the guard, I'm going to give him a set go, and the guard's going to go. He's going to take his settle stab. He's going to fit the position. All right, I'm going to give him another set go. And then here comes the tackle, and he's going to fit the block like he needs to. Now, if you watch the end of this, you see the tackle doesn't like his fit. Look at his hands. He's telling me, he's showing me that he knows he needs to go vertical. So this is our tempo fit double teams. I love this drill because by the time they both take their 2 steps, they understand if their fit was right in the double team. All right? You got to make sure in all your double teams that your force lines don't cross. All right, we're not trying to make an Oreo sandwich where we're pushing against somebody or we're sandwiching the defender. We're trying to get our force lines together, right, and push in the same direction. So right here, 51 should go inside 1, 2, and then now his third step with his left foot should go vertical and fit. So he's got a left knee high, and he'd fit right into that double like we want him to be right there, right? So he's got to have some work on that, and I threw that in there just so you guys can see. A, those guys make mistakes too, professional players, right? But B, it gives them a good idea of how the fit should be. So that's one of my favorite drills, okay? The last part of how I teach these double teams, and again, I use this both in the zone game and the gap game, is I start them in the fit here, and then I get a third guy back here who's trying to separate the double, all right? So what it's doing is it forces these guys to keep their hips sucked together. It forces the covered guy of a double team to run his backside knee to create vertical movement, all right? So they're actually working a zone concept here. So that the 32 on the right of your screen is like a right tight end, and then you got the right tackle with him. They're working the right tackle's working a high knee gallop on an inside tight zone play. The ball's a couple gaps behind him. So what we're doing with 24 then on the right again is 24 is trying to separate or move the hips of 32 to get him the feeling of how you have to stay tight to a double and run your backside knee. So that's what we're doing here. We do this drill at least once a week, if not more. We're working the force lines of the double team, and we're working on staying with it together. All right, let's look at the left side of the screen. You see the inside covered player 68 is not doing a good enough job running his back knee vertical. He's walking around that block. All right, so if we have a true double team in the game, that defender is going to separate him, and we're going to lose our double team there. All right, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get 68 to take his left knee and run his run and drive his left knee vertical and keep digging and gaining grass and kneeing him in the nuts if you've ever heard that term. All right, so that's what we're trying to do here. We use this both zone and gap plays. All right, so there's a whole part, whole method, fellas. I work all those guys together, and then I break it down in the ricochet drill. I break it down into the tempo fit, and then I try to get them to suck their double teams together and not get split. All right, so there's some practice drills for us. Here's another one, right? You can see 67 is now trying to split the double. All right, 61 here is doing a much better job. You can see he is running his back knee vertical through that double team, and we're getting the maximum amount of push that we can. All right, so we're trying to fit those up. All right, a couple last clips for you. All right, here's gap play with the tailback coming in and getting it. Again, we're pulling the center. You can see he's got inside body position. The ball gets spilled. All right, here comes the right tackle. And the right tackle, as he clears that first block, has got to look inside. You can see the right tackle, 51's eyes aren't inside enough, so he runs by his player. All right, but you see it's a good deuce block by the left tackle, left guard. All right, what I'd like to see the left guard do is run his backside knee more like I just showed you. right? He's trying to grab the guy and throwing him inside, which works if you're bigger and stronger, but you're not always, all right? So you got to run your backside knee and rip through it vertical, and then the right tackle's got to find his player on the double as he comes around the horn. That's one of the reasons I don't like always looking at the first puller's numbers, because you can't find your linebacker. All right. I think I'm almost out of time, but I got 2 clips left, I think. All right. One of the other reasons I love the gap play is because you get a lot of misdirections off it. Here we're pulling 2 pullers to the left, but we're giving the ball to the tailback going the other way. Look at the DN number 91. He has no idea where the ball is. He's trying to follow the pullers. All right. Typically, pullers will lead you to the play. He has no idea where the ball is. All right. So there's a misdirection play for you based on a puller. All right, and then here's one that I just love to show everybody. A lot of you guys know who Chris Strevler is, right? Quarterback for us, played at University of Minnesota, and then ended up playing at South Dakota. We just lost him down to the NFL. He signed down here with the Arizona Cardinals. So now we're snapping the ball to our tailback, and we're actually handing it to our quarterback on the speed sweep because he's one of our fastest players, all right? And we also have pullers going opposite directions, right? So my point here is make sure you guys are being creative. You run a lot of gap plays. You run a lot of zone plays. Find ways to break your tendency. Here we got a right guard pulling one way, and we got a right tackle pulling around the other way, leading us around the horn. So make sure you guys are being creative and find different ways to get the ball carrier to the outside. The coach from California that just spoke a couple minutes ago did a great job talking about knowing your personnel and who you want to get the ball to and all those things. So, all right, fellas, I know I'm out of time. I appreciate you guys having me, and look forward to learning some the rest of the night as well.